I said this on Twitter or Twitter, and I still stand by it. The UN is perhaps the most deadwood of, and not even in the fun way. Like but it's a very deadwood form of usefulness. And for those of you who don't get the reference I am making, in Texas, our Constitution had a piece of it added that when I was told about it in college, it was basically referred to as deadwood because it's very fucking useless. That's how I would describe the UN. In fact, and basically what caused me to really think about this and make me go, fuck them, and I actively would probably jerk off to the thought of them being destroyed and torn apart piece by piece, was them recently saying that Japan needs to curtail or stop with the manga, to which I can only say, get fucked. You get fucked, the Communist Party of Japan can get fucked, because I'm willing to bet that's where some of this bullshit came from originally, because they had been making some noise before and saying they were going to the UN or the EU to fuck with Japan, their own fucking country, because as we all know, commies are soulless parasites and aren't real people. To me, anyway. But yeah, no, and I find this fun. No, not fun. It's fucking aggravating because you have all these people, these cunts, these pissheads, these piss tanks, who go around who say colonialism and imperialism bad, and like, you fuckers are doing the exact same fucking thing. And I also find it kind of convenient that everyone and their mother is now clamping down Japan, and raining fire down on them. I mean, the UN, let's see what else, the EU, the so-called progressives of America, all of whom are useless cunts who belong in a, never mind. Point is, they're fucking insufferable. The commies, who else? Probably the Middle East for all I know, although I highly doubt they would care because, well, I have no proof they'd be involved. So yeah, proof excludes them. Just and manga's been getting fucked with for a while. Like in Russia, some of them have been banned, or they were last I checked. There's only a few of them though. All these fuckers who do this shit are insufferable, and it's annoying because the UN that does this, I'm like, okay, one, you are basically an offshoot. You are a leftover from the days of Woodrow Wilson's worthless ass. Literally, the only reason these fuckers exist is because back in the day, post World War I, Woodrow Wilson's worthless ass had the idea for the League of Nations, which the one that did come into existence was toothless. Kind of like Joe Biden, but for a different reason. And it was useless. All it did was allow France to fuck over Germany and, by extension, lay the groundwork for Adolf Hitler to come into existence. And everyone else kind of laughed at it. Like Japan, one of the reasons I remember hearing why they felt no threat to themselves when fucking with America and their antics was they knew the League of Nations ain't going to do jack shit to us. They're impotent. They're pointless. Now, the United Nations is less toothless and impotent, but over time it has become just as insufferable, pretentious, and posturing. And the fact that they're doing this, and also they claim to care about human rights and women's okay, you made your ambassador or whatever for women's rights Saudi Arabia, which that's not even a diss at Saudi Arabia. Our values of what women should be doing and what their values are two different things. So, yeah, no, that was just dumb on their... Oh, and also, it later turned out that some of their members were pedos. They were found with child porn on them. So, the UN has no high horse to sit on here. They are fucktards. Vagaloons. But then again, they're European, so I guess that part should be accepted. Actually, no, fuck that. Fuck them. These fuckers who do this, they are grandstanders, annoying grandstanders, who I wish nothing but the biggest, fattest punch thrown their way in the nads and gut. Because I am really sick of their grandstanding. Like, these fuckers do this. They thumb their nose at Japan, who is not doing anything to anyone. They can't, last I heard. In fact, the last time I ever heard anything about them it was being discussed whether or not they should be allowed to develop their own military again. And I can't remember if I'm remembering that correctly. But yeah, that's it. And the reason why they're mad at Japan for their manga is because it's a threat to it. No, bitch tits, women are a threat to women. No one has hurt women more than the feminism. Hell, back in the day, feminism was hated by women the most. Or at the very least, feminism was hated by women and men because they're like, the fuck is wrong with you? So, yeah, no, fuck the UN. Fuck them and the high horse they rode in on. Like, and really cannot stress how stupid this is. That these hypocritical asshats, they in the EU go out of their way to curtail freedom at every fucking opportunity. I remember back not that long ago, they were telling America to censor and basically get rid of freedom of speech, which apparently the Democrats are also on board with that, to where you have John Perry unironically saying they should do so when the Democrats take over. And I'm just praying that John Perry's who I'm thinking that is. But yeah, no, fuck you, UN. Fuck you and your mother. Or no, fuck you and your wife's boyfriend. Or your wife, or whatever. Yeah, I have no words for this. These are retards. These are morons. And I hope Japan not only does not buckle, I hope they give them the most erect, biggest erect middle finger possible. Dual middle fingers. And I'm hopeful this will happen because not that long ago, I remember doing a video talking about this. One of the guys who was elected to a government position not that long ago was a former mangaka himself. And one of the things that led to him running for office was he was annoyed by this Western attempt to plague their right to draw and stuff. I mean, between this and the fact that freelancers may be allowed to work in the manga industry now, which means people from the West can now be involved and infect it like a bad disease or a plague, because as we all know, SJWs and wokies are literally like people with the bubonic plague. They give nothing of value anymore. They are cancer. Like the cancer to kill my grandmothers and grandfather would be more pleasant to talk to than these cunts. And I have no idea where I was going with this, but yeah, no. Fuck this. I hope... And so, now I remember. So if the guy who was elected hasn't changed his position, is like, no, fuck you. Again, biggest dueling erect middle fingers possible would be nice. Along with get stuffed and blow a shotgun. That would be my preference. That would be the way I would word it, but this is Japan. I'm assuming they have a better idea of manners. I abandoned being mannerful a long time ago. Because people annoyed the fuck out of me. Kind of the downside to growing up in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, Arkansas. You learn to get rid of your sense of decorum really early. At least as a kid. But, yeah, no, fuck the UN. They are as much a joke as Woodrow Wilson's fascist ass was. Him and FDR were both scum. Fuck them both. The difference was FDR was better at bullshitting people. And, yeah, fuck Woodrow Wilson is also... And to anyone who's like, well, why? Especially if you're not from America and you don't know who he is, bit of context. Woodrow Wilson is such a detestable president. One time someone asked me, who is your least favorite president and why is it Woodrow Wilson? This man was a scumbag. He was a racist. And that's not even like me insulting him and slandering. He was literally a racist. He literally screamed birth of a nation in the White House and said it was reality. So yeah, it's a pissant and goat fuck left behind by the shadow of, or the specter of Woodrow Wilson, who's teabagging everyone. And honestly, I think it's time we exercise his specter, because he's become a bigger thorn in our and he's become a worse thorn in the side of progress than I don't know, the specter of the Bell Witch House. And I have no idea where else to go with this. So I meant to talk about this a few days ago, but I was tired, and then the day after that, this news dropped. It was Halloween, and I didn't really want to do a video then. I was thinking about doing the one I plan to do after this one, but anyway, have a nice day, and Yamiro Head and UN, jump in a wood chipper.